start to record. And today, okay, what are we gonna do today? Oh, and I'm gonna start to share my screen. That's it. Today we are gonna be working with a new library that will simplify the use of the audio. And we are also gonna include the possibilities of um, global interaction. Okay, so in that way you can create a instrument that can be played by many people at the same time. Okay, and what are we going to be doing then? I send you a link last class that you should be checking um, the socket input output. Okay, so for one part we will be working with the socket input output. On the other part, we will be working with this library that I showed you some classes ago that will allow us to generate sound in a more organic way than the web audio API. This library employs the web audio API on top. I mean, the persons that develop this library are using web audio API, but they simplify many of the things. Okay, so if you don't mind, first of all, I just want guys, boys and girls, to go to this link that I'm putting here and add to the chat. I'm sending in the chat. Oh, did you finishing cleaning your tears? Yeah. Okay, it's gone. Okay, I got the link. I sent the link. Could you please go to the link? And then just click. Okay, I want you guys to go to the link and click on the different part of the screen. Okay, as you can see, each time that you press a dot, okay, I'm expecting that all of us are watching the same. Am I all right or not? Is
I
anybody in the
think
class?
yes.
Pardon me, Gustavo?
I think yes. We are all watching the same.
Okay. Okay. That means that, as you can see, we are working on a really high speed connection, because at the end of the day, it's a very small amount of information, the one that you should travel. If you go here to a speed test, for example, if you go to the speed test of here, okay, you will see here the time that takes 3 milliseconds, okay? 3 milliseconds is the amount of time that takes a small piece of information from going from my computer to the server. Assuming that the other person has also a 3 millisecond connection, we're talking about 6 milliseconds delay, okay? 6 milliseconds delay is really a tiny amount of time. So we could say that it is synchronic in some sense. Okay. So, okay, okay. What we what is going on here? Okay. So if you stop playing with the screen and go back to the code, okay. In order to do that, I already create a code. Why? Because of the speed. No, you don't. You shouldn't be asking what internet do I have. You should ask how much do I pay for it, which is the big deal. Okay. Yeah, but I mean it's part of my work, so I need to pay it. It's in infinitum, but it's one of the expensive. Oh yeah, 1,500. Okay, which is a lot. But I need to be streaming and I need to be doing a lot of things sometimes. So no, it's not easy. Does the tech sponsor you? No. No. But I paid it for a long time ago. I mean, it was before the pandemic. I'm paying, sí, 1,500, 1,500 baros. Yes. Why? Are you sure? Am I sure about what? Emerson? Well, never mind. Okay. So now let's go to the next thing. Okay. How can we do this? Okay. So I want you guys to go to this part. Okay. For this class, what we're going to be doing is you're going to remixing this. In this occasion, I want you guys to remix the code because you are going to be working on different versions of this code. Okay. I'm not going to be sharing this code. And the reason of that is that this particular code as the previous week is using a server. So if we decide to modify this server altogether, we're going to start to have problems. So each one of you will have its own server. In order to do that, I'm going to share you my code, but I want you to do a remix. So if I send you the site, this one, okay. Now, when you open it, once that you open this code, I would imagine that is the same if I do a copy of this. If I do a copy of this and I connect, no, not that one. Did I send you the wrong one? I apologize. I want to send you the code one. Apologize. So that one, okay. Oh, you will see the remix to edit, okay? Please click remix to edit. In that way, you're gonna make a copy. You're gonna make a copy on your own user account, okay? So for today's class, you will need to make a copy of the code, okay? Are you done? It's gonna take a few seconds, but shouldn't take too much. Once that you have your code, I want you guys to go to your code, which means that I don't want to see you here. It's not that I mean, it's just that if you start to modify this code, we're going to start to have problems with the server. Okay. Okay. What's happening on this code that we are going to use for the beginning of the class? Okay. One more time, I ask you to ask a lot of questions if you have any kind of question. If you hear me well, please. Okay. This is pretty similar to the code that we did for the Spotify notes. When we were doing the Spotify notes, we already had a server. We already have a package. Okay. But in this occasion, we are having a package with more dependencies. We are still having the P5 just for fun because we want to be some visualizations. We have the tone one, which is for the audio library. We have the socket one, which is for the one for the connections. And we have the express one, which is the one that generates a server with JavaScript, okay? These are just beginning things. We are saying that we are using a specific engine. And then we are also saying, well, these are just information. This is just metadata. If we want to remember another package, we can search here for another library in case that we need it. How can we know how many libraries do we have? Because as we have mentioned many times, we have a server that is called NPM, which is a server where there is a bunch of libraries for Node.js. I don't think there is any question in that. If there is a question, please let me know. We have here the markdown code where we are going to be saying this is just the same thing as ever, right? Our collaborative instrument. This will be our collaborative. I don't know how to write. I don't know. I have typos. If you can help me with collaborative sound, collaborative. How do you spell collaborative sound? Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, that's it. Now, we have to remember also that in this type of technology, we have some files that belongs to the client and some files that belong to the server. This section that is here is the server, and this section that is here is for the client. And as we can see, we have an index HTML and we have a bunch of codes here, okay? Tone.js is actually this sound library. Tone.js.map is a dependency of Tone.js. P5 is the library that we use for doing the graphics. We know it already. We've been using it a lot of times, but in this case, it's embedded just because we want to have it on the same server. We have the script.js, which is the place where we have all our code, and we have one CSS file where we have all the style sheet. And at the very end, we have our index HTML, which is the place where we are going to start our reference when we get a call from any page. So when we get directly the root directory, we will be pointing to the views index HTML, which is here. In the index HTML, we are saying we want this CSS, and we are just loading this bunch of libraries. And at the very end, we are saying that we want the script one. Does that make sense? Not any question? Yes, that's fine. Please, I'm gonna put you here. Okay, Maria, thank you very much for replying. Okay, now the important thing in this case, what do we have in the HTML, in the index? In the index, actually, we don't have anything in the body, which means that in the script, we have a couple of things that are important. One important thing is that we have a canvas. That's the one that is making the drawing part. And new two things we have. We are loading the socket library for doing the connections with other people. Okay. We are calling, we haven't used it right now, but we will in a few seconds. We have the tone start and the tone transport start. We will talking about this in a few seconds. Then we already know this one is for creating the graphics, the canvas graphics. We are setting up a color. We are doing nothing, be careful, in the drawing. We are not redrawing the screen. That's why we can keep the circles that you are drawing. And then, very important, we have a mouse click function, okay? The mouse click function, how can we know about the mouse click function? Because we can go, again, this is just a repetition of previous classes. We can go here and we can go to the mouse where we are gonna see that we have the functions mouse click. And mouse click function, it's a function that will be called each time that you press the button. And here there are a bunch of examples about that. That means that each time that we press the mouse click, we are gonna print in the console, okay, log, and we are gonna do two important things. We are gonna draw the ellipse, our ellipse, and this is the funny part of today. We are gonna be sending in line 18, we are gonna be calling a function that says enviar datos a servidor. Oh, that's Pocho. It's Pocho. This code is Pocho code, okay? But this says enviar datos a servidor, okay? And we are sending two parameters. The parameter mouse, which is the place where we are clicking the mouse in the X, and the Y. This function, that means that this function, let me grab my pen, okay? This function is sending what the mouse has been pressed as a parameter here, and a mouse Y is sending to here, okay? And what is the enviar datos a servidor doing? Well, the only thing that is doing is calling the function socket, which is my internet connection. Please send to the server, an information to the function called full info, okay? And what do you want to send? Well, please send my ID. Please send who am I, just in case that we need it in the future, who am I? And please also send a value with X and a value with Y. The X1 has the input of the X mouse and the Y, okay? This happens when you click the mouse, you send to the server that you've been clicking the mouse. Okay, that should be straightforward. And now, yes.
I'm sure you have already said this, but what is it, the socket constant? What is it for?
Oh, the socket is the name that we are assigning to the variable input output. And input output, it's the function that allows to do a connection. So if you remember, I was asking you, give me one, the other day, to socket input output. I remember that I was asking you to check this for this class, okay? Your assignment for this class was going through these examples to understand a little bit about how this library works. And you will see that here explains a little bit about the socket connection, okay? So in this section, this is the technical description that gives you that. So the short answer to your question, socket is the name of the variable that we are using, that we get from the input output library, okay? And socket is an object that allows us to send information to the world and also to get information in the form of functions, okay? So at this point, nobody has asked me in the last month, what does this mean, by the way? Okay. So if you haven't asked me, is for two reasons. Either you know it, either you are lost. So I truly hope that it's because you know it. But just in case that is not the case, okay, we have to remember that this symbol is a way for doing this. Okay, justo. No. Okay, yes, it's a way for doing what is called anonymous function. So I can do this function entrada, which has one input, the input A, okay, and then the input has something called whatever, console.log.a. You understand this situation, right? You understand this function. I'm pretty sure, I hope, if not, it's fine. You should be asking, but I hope that you understand that this is the declaration of a function that is called entrada, which has one parameter as an input. Am I sure that, yes, that's clear, right? For everyone. Yes. Okay, well,
yes,
some functions, when you call them, which is the case of socket on, okay, they have what is called a callback function, okay? As a parameter, you have a function. Let's call this a function. The second parameter doesn't necessarily be an array or a number. It could be a function itself, where you here do something with the function. A function, whatever, a times 2. Okay, this is weird. This is very weird in some cases, especially if you come from Python or you come from Java. You cannot do this in Java. You cannot have a function as a parameter, okay? Assuming that you have a function here, assuming that you have a function called a func, okay, which has as an input the input B, okay, and something happens with B, okay, console.log B, okay. Assuming that we have a function, we can have, okay, as an input, okay, a function, okay. Now, because this is sometimes very ugly, sometimes instead of doing this, okay, you can directly, okay, so we should be calling, and now when we want to actually call it, we should be saying entrada 5, and then you should be calling a function, which in this case is a func B, for example. You understand what I'm doing, right? No, for example, 10. Okay. You can see that as a second parameter, I have a function. Well, because sometimes you just need a function inside that, it's better to say entrada 5. This is my first parameter. And then we can say 10, okay? And then we have a function here, which is doing something else. Console.log something, okay? So as you can see here, here we have a function. Now, what is this? Oh, it's saying, what is it saying? Unexpected token. Oh, because this needs to be, I don't know, IB, okay? Does that make sense? This is a function without a name. This is a function without a name, okay? Does that make sense?
I'm not really understanding what's happening. I mean, first you send the 5 and the 10, no? But the number 10 will go to the function. Where
Okay,
is it?
don't pay a lot of attention to which the thing is getting into what thing. I just want you to understand that some functions could have as an input a function, okay? Sometimes when you call a function, you want to do something with the value that you are getting. For example, which is the case that we have here in the socket output, okay? Each time that the function on gets the message new player, it should do something. Each time that I get the function, let me think, for example, another function, which is, for example, each time that I say compro, okay, I'm gonna buy something. This is a function. I didn't wrote it, whatever, buy, okay, or actually no, I can do something, which is buy something. Each time that I buy a book, each time that I buy a book, okay, that is an action, okay? Yes,
Yes,
I
yes,
have
yes.
to do something. I will get a book. Each time that I buy a book, I will get a book, okay? This is the book, okay? And I want to do something with the book. What do I want to do with the book? Well, B is the book that I just bought, okay? And then I can do something like read a book, for example, okay? Assuming that read is a function that it's already defined in some place, okay? Or I can, in addition to read a book, I can
But in order to have like the function read that you already created anywhere of the code, you have to write like the anonymous function like
This-
outside.
Now, this is the anonymous function. Forget
Yeah.
about this. This was the first example, okay? I
Mhm.
think this is a much clear example, okay? These lines that I'm writing here is the same than this function. Do something with book, okay? With this book B, okay? And then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do B, open my book, and then read my already open book, okay? So I can do something like me dot buy dot book. Each time that I buy a book, okay, I will get a book, which means that I do something with a book, okay, B, okay, assuming that B is what this me is doing, is giving me back, okay. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain? Yes, no, maybe not, maybe not.
Kind of. We're getting there.
Most of the time, you are used to do something with the parameters of the functions, okay? That's the way that we've been trying to think. We put things in functions, okay? We put in a machine, in a black box, we get as an input a value, okay? And then my function processes that value, okay? But sometimes there is something that triggers the result of getting something, okay? Sometimes, let's say that by magical situations, God give me, not God, but my parents give me money, okay? Just by magic, my parents give me money, okay? It comes from some place and you do something with that money, okay? So this would be like me, okay, got from my parents, okay? I got something from my parents, okay? What do I get? I don't know.
Money.
I get money, okay? That money, the actual money that you are getting, it's you can name it as whatever you want, but it is an object, okay? There is something there. That something, you can call it mi domingo, my Sunday. Well, I don't know, mi domingo, okay? You can call it whatever you want. And now, what are you gonna do with that money? With that domingo, okay? And here, this is the function that you will be doing, okay? This is the function that you will be doing with the variable that you decide to call my domingo, which is the object that you got when you call the function got from parents, okay? This thing that is called is a callback function, a function that happens when you get an object, okay? And now what do? Well, if I were you, I will save it. So you can say something like, I don't know, my domingo.save. You are gonna save it, okay? For example, you understand the logic of a callback function is something that you will do with a variable that you get from some place, okay? In this particular case, you will be doing something. This function here that we have here. What are we gonna do? What is between these curly brackets? Okay, with the object that you got, which is a message that you got when you get the function fully info, each time that the socket get that action, okay? A little bit nested, don't worry. I think you may have some questions about that. For now, just keep it as a receipt, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so
I have a doubt. ID message, it's a function previously made it, right?
well, no, ID is not a function. ID is a variable.
So the function, what is the function? New player and full info?
No, the fun. That's good. The function is on.
Oh, okay.
The actual parameter of the function is new player or full info and bye player. As you can see here, we have the same function, but now with a different string as the first parameter, okay?
Okay.
And then we have something that we can call whatever we want. You can change this name to be input, as long as you decide to call this input, okay?
Okay.
So,
Teacher,
what
sorry,
is-
I didn't understand why is the new player full info and by player. Sorry.
Oh, okay, we will go to that in, okay, now, let's go back to the code of the server, okay? The server, okay, this server, it's implementing the connections and is saying, okay, please create a connection, okay? Each time that you get a connection, please, okay, say that you have a new connection. Okay, that's fine. And please also tell to everybody that is connected, please say, hey guys, all the people that is already connected, a new guy just came into the party, okay? This is broadcast, emit, new player, okay? Please tell to everybody that a new player just came into the party, okay? This library, socket input, will go and will start to shout to well, not to shout, actually it's gonna go by one in the party. If there are already 5 persons, it will go to the person number 1 and it will say, hey, a new guy came, new guy, or guy is female or male, guy could be, it's neutral, right?
Girls, guy and girls, I think.
Guy is neutral, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, hey, a new guy just came into the party with the name Juan, enter to the party, okay? And then I go to the next person, I say, hey, Juan is here. And then I go and then I say, Juan is here. And then I go and then I say, Juan is here, okay? And now in the server, we are also implementing something. Each time that one person disconnect, okay? Each time that one person disconnect, I will go with everybody and I will say, hey, people just leave the party, okay? Maria just left the party. And then it will go to say, Maria just left the party, okay? To everybody, okay? And each time that I'm in the party, I start to do something, which in this case I call full info, but I can call it whatever I want. I can call this one, how can I call it? What do you do in the parties? Each time that you start dancing? Okay, let's do that. Let's keep safe, okay? Let's keep safe the party, okay? Dancing, dance. Each time that I start to dance, okay? Each time that I start, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. This is each time that somebody dance, I will know that that person is dancing, okay? And when I start to dance, it's emitting, okay? I'm gonna tell to everybody that I'm gonna start to dance. Does that make sense? It's very basic. At the very end, I have to tell everybody, well, actually not to everybody. This is a centralized system. I have to tell the server and the server has to tell everybody, okay? Yes?
Where do we connect message with emit?
Message with emit, what do you mean?
Yes, because you're saying each time the full info it's called, you're going to send a message.
Yes.
So socket has the message and sends to emit, but so socket keeps the message.
Again, one more time, please.
Socket full info is a message. So the message is saved in the variable socket.
No, the message is saved in the variable MSH.
Okay, and where do we connect message with with emit or how we can do that thing.
Okay, so let's put it in this way. This section, can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
This section is me listening to the server, and this section is me saying something to the server. Okay. In this, I say, hey, server, I want to tell you something. This section, because we are emitting information to the server. Okay. And this section is when the server is telling me something. Okay. This is when the server is telling me that a new person just entered. This is when the server is telling me that somebody did something. And this is when the server is telling me that somebody left the party. When somebody joined the party, when somebody left the party, and when somebody is doing something in the party. Okay?
Okay, okay, I think I get it.
And this is when I want to tell the server that I want the server to tell everybody something.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay? So in
Yes,
these
yes.
cases, please tell everybody that I just clicked the mouse. I'm changing to the server code. And this is the small section, okay? This is the small section that is doing when somebody is connected, please tell everybody that a new person is connected. When somebody is disconnecting, leaving the party, please tell the rest of the party that somebody just left. And when somebody is doing something in the party, please tell everybody in the party that this person is doing something. Okay?
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. So yes, you have to remember that this organization of the code is made in two parts. One server that is directing everything, and a bunch of clients that are reacting to the information of the server. Okay?
Okay,
Now,
thank you.
what are we doing exactly when we, at this example that we have right now, what we are doing is each time that I press the mouse, okay? Oh, one important thing to say. The new player and the bye-bye player, they are automatic, okay? Okay? Because these are organized by the library. So disconnecting and connecting, okay? They are already implemented. So we don't have to do anything in order to know that somebody get in or somebody get left, okay? That's important to know, okay? However, this is the important one where we are saying something. Coming back to the client. When I press the mouse, I'm painting a circle and I'm saying, and I'm also calling enviar datos a servidor. And enviar datos a servidor is the function that is actually sending the socket emit. There is any kind of question about this piece of code?
No, teacher.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Sure. Okay,
think so.
Diana, are you eating pizza? Oh, okay, that's good. I'm hungry. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I'm fine. I mean, it's good. Diana, I'm jealous. Okay, now good. Okay, so does that make sense? In terms of the server, this is just in terms of the connections. Okay, this is just in terms of the connections. I mean, if you have questions, we can go back to that, but I want also to go to the sound part for now. Okay. What we do have right now, it's code. So can anybody else send me the share with us? Just one person. I just want to be sure that the one that you did is also working. Is anybody here can share the code of the live site in the chat? Of your remix. Okay, well, let's keep Fernanda. Just Fernanda. So can we go to Fernanda's code? No, just Fernanda, just Fernanda. Copiafer. Okay, Copiafer. Oh no, but I think you send us the edit one. So can we go to Diana? I'm canceling Fernanda. I'm canceling the connection to Fernanda because that was not, it was the editing code. Okay. Can we go to Sound Bolitas Glitch Me? Sound Bolitas Glitch Me. Can you go to Sound Bolitas? Okay, yeah, it's working. Okay. As you can see, Sound Bolitas is working and mine is obviously not working because we are connected to another server. Okay. That's good. That means that you have another one. Okay, now go back. I'm gonna close Sound Bolitas and I'm gonna close Sound Bolitas. I'm gonna close. If you have more questions about the library of the connections, please go to socket input output. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for now. And now let's go to the sound part, which is the one that is more interesting for us. Okay, new topic, okay? Rewind, forget about the connections, it's already working. We have something that can interact with the people, that's pretty good. And now let's go to the, to our here, okay? I have another thing here that is important. Another topic, this is not input output, you can do tone without the internet sharing things, and you can share things without the sound. Two different libraries for two different purposes. However, we are going to put them together. Okay. So because this thing is working, I'm also using this library. Okay. Tone.js. Tone.js is an audio web framework for creating interactive music in the browser. The architecture of Tone aims to be familiar to both musicians like you and audio programmers like you, creating web-based audio applications like the purpose of this class. On a high level, Tone. Tone offers common DAW digital audio workstation features like a global transport for synchronizing and scheduling events, as well as effects and things like that. Okay, how can you use it? This is just a small example about how to create a small sound. Okay. Well, one very simple way for doing a sound is just by creating a synth and then connecting that synth to that particular destination. Okay, well, why don't we try to implement this? So if you go to the things and you start to see how it works, and you start to go to the different documentations of the pages, you will see that in the that the first thing that you need to do is import tone as tone from Tone. Okay, well, that's already done. And the second thing that you have to do, okay, is starting the audio. You have to start the audio, okay, which is something that I'm going to do here, the tone start. Forget about this one for now, okay? The only thing that I will do right now is that each time that I press a note, I will create a small sound, which means that I will need to do these two things, okay? Each time that I press a note, I will create a synth. I will connect my synth to my speakers in the same way that it was the audio context destination. This is the way to do it with this library, to destination. And we are going to play mid C. We are going to play C4, okay, for 1/8 of the time, okay? So I think that's as simple as that. So if this is working, I'm going to refresh. And it's working, okay? I have a very simple note playing each time that I click my mouse, okay? Question for you guys. What do I need to do if I also want to hear a sound when you press the sound?
In full info.
Good. What do I need to do?
What was the question again, teacher?
What? Okay, at this point, did you hear what I was, at this point when I click, each time that I click the mouse, I have a sound, okay? Each
Yes.
time. Now, what do I, but if you go to, could you please go again to basic sound glitch? I'm gonna send you the link again. Okay, now you guys are clicking on that page and I'm not hearing anything. I'm not listening when you click. I want to hear also when you click. What do I need to do?
Could it be that we must like do something with the server part?
Oh, the server, no, because the server is just saying, I got a click and I'm gonna send that click to everybody. Where in this code, in which line of code here, am I doing something with the, when I get the message from another person? Diana already mentioned that.
Full info, no?
Pardon me? Who speak? Who talk?
Okay, I think it's in full info.
Exactly, which means, well, yeah, in line 30, in this function, right?
Yes, exactly. There is where we receive when someone clicks, right?
Exactly. And what are we doing when someone clicks? I want you to see this. When, why can I do message X and message dot Y? Well, I can do that because I'm sending as information message X and message Y, okay? I can call this if I want to position X and then position Y. And then in this case, will need to be position X and position Y, okay? If I send information with one particular name, I should use that information because message is the object that I'm getting from the server, but the server is just resending the message that another user sent with this information. Does that make sense, Fabian? Oh, Fabian. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't mind turning on your cameras, if you want to, please do that, everybody. Okay. Okay, now let's keep going. So exactly, if I want to start to hear that, I just need to do this. Okay. I just need, in addition to paint, okay. What about if my sounds are C4 and the other persons are D4, okay? So can we? Oh, I think, yes. Well, it's kind of ugly because we are all playing the same sound at the same time and we are creating something really annoying, but okay, well, now. Yes, are you listening in your computer the sound?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Yes,
person
you need
that
to
says,
refresh the page.
yes, the person that says no, you need to refresh your page. Well, that's enough. That's enough because it's kind of annoying. No? Could you stop playing? Could you please stop pressing the mouse? Because we're gonna get crazy. Okay, well. Okay, come on. Please stop. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so, well, this is the first thing that I want to see. Now, because maybe we want to have synchronization. We don't want to be, well, the first step could be as chaotic as that, okay? The first part could be as chaotic as that, but to be honest, I don't like that sound. This pure sound, I don't like it, okay? So I will go to Tone.js, I will go to the API, okay? And I will go to the different sounds that we can use here. So instead of using that, I'm gonna use, for example, what about if we use a membrane sound, okay? So instead of using the pure sound, I'm gonna use a membrane synth, okay? A membrane, I'm losing light. I may go out, my lights just dim, which means that I may lost my internet. No, it's fine. Okay. So if we go to, where were we? We were in metal, right?
Membrane, I think.
About to change the pure tone to the membrane.
Yeah, sorry, it's just that my light, yes, it dims, and then I think well, I think it's fine. Okay, so we were doing no, but not, it was not metal sound, was it? It was
membrane.
Membrane sound. Okay, membrane sound. Okay, and then what we want to do is just change the first one that we have here, the synth. I'm gonna change it to be membrane synth. Okay. And okay, and now we can glue these, for example, because these are different notes that we can do. Okay, well, for now, no, don't start to play the sound. Instead of being eighths, let's make these 16ths. Okay, let's make these 16ths. Okay, and then what else do we want to do? What about if we, I don't want to do the classes that we did a month ago. It's not needed. I don't think we need to go back to the things that we were doing last month about using the screen for setting up the notes and so on. But for now, yes, let's just very quickly, this just a review, just as a review, I'm gonna create the following, okay? In addition to the background, okay? I'm going to split the keyboard in, in 2 octaves. Does that make sense? I'm going to split the keyboard in 2 octaves. So what do I need to do if I want to do that? I need to create a 4, right? And then I'm going to create for an integer, no, forget about that. I'm not going to do right now. Yes.
What do you mean with dividing the keyboard into updates?
I was thinking to do a piano here, to do lines here in such a way that when you press in one of them, you have a D and a C and
now I see.
But we already did that a month ago, so I'm not going to do it right now. Okay. So, but what I do want to do is to check what kind of notes can we write here. Okay. So I'm going to go to my library. And I will go to my API, and then I will go to my oscillator, which is my oscillator. Okay, where is it? My oscillator. And I will try to see what type of things can we put as the first parameter. Okay, and then says that the first parameter should be my frequency. Okay, and now let's see. Frequency can be described, let's check this. Frequency can be described similar to time, except ultimately the values are converted to frequency instead of seconds. A number is taken literally as value. So if we put a number, we got it in hertz. Additionally, any of the time encodings can be used. Note names in the form of note and octave are also accepted and converted to their frequency. So we can write notes, and these are the different notes that we can use this. A note in scientific pitch notation, the pitch class plus octave, for example, C4, D3, G minus 1. These are all the different type of notes that I can write, okay? These are all the different types of sounds that I can write. What do you prefer? Making, what do you prefer? Because I want to keep it chromatic. Okay, because I want to keep it chromatic, I will do a very simple solution. I'm gonna create a function that we're gonna be random note, and random note we're gonna return, okay? In random note, I'm gonna create here a constant. I'm gonna create, can you see what I'm doing? Do you, okay, constant notes are gonna be equal to, and then I'm gonna create C, and then I'm gonna create D, and then I'm gonna create a me, I'm gonna create E, and I'm gonna create F. Pentatonic tends to be nicer for these kind of things, but can you tell me the pentatonic scale in C, please?
Pentatonic major or minor?
Major.
E, D, E, G, A, C.
G, A. We skip the F and we skip the C, right?
Yes, we like the F. And the B, we skip the B.
And that means that we are all set, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let's keep this one, notes. Okay, we are gonna keep notes. And then that means that what do we need to do in order to generate? We are gonna return, okay? We are gonna return a note, okay? We're gonna return note plus, okay, a 4 or a 5. So I'm gonna say random, and then I'm gonna say a 4 or a 5. Does that make sense? Can you see what I'm doing?
Why? I didn't understand where you put 4 or 5.
Okay, because this library allows me, because this library allows me, as we have comes here, to write the notes, as a note description, C4, C5, G4, G5, and so on. The thing that I'm doing is because I want 2 octaves, I want to be able to play them on octaves 4 in the range of the piano and 5 in the range of the piano. I need to build this string. So with the code that I have here, I'm selecting one of these. No, this is wrong. Random. I want to get, please give me a random note. Okay, please give me one random note, which means that I will go and I will select A, for example. I'm going to end up with A, okay? And add, please concatenate that A with one random number, be either 4 or 5. Please tell me maybe it's 5. So at the end, I'm going to end up with an E5, okay?
Yes, okay, it's clear now. Thank you.
Okay, so if we do that, then each time that I press the key, I'm gonna be always playing C3, and then this is gonna be as an octave, okay? And when the other people press, I'm gonna get that note. As far as I can see, we are, okay, and then here, we have to change these for what? If I want
random note.
Exactly, to random note. Okay.
Teacher, I have a question right there. Why we do need to rewrite the constant and the synth trigger on socket on? Because my code works without that.
Your code works with what?
Without the constant and the synth trigger, they're in full info.
Your code works without this?
Yes.
Yes, you can hear this when you click, but you won't be
Yes.
able to hear the others click
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
because you have to remember that is in this section where you do something with information that you are getting from the server.
Okay, okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Can we test it just to see? Oh, maybe we should. Okay, now we are getting there, but we are still saying like, hey, come on, I pay a lot for this class and this sounds like crappy. So let's keep this in order to make a little bit more interesting this sound, okay? First of all, we are having problems with the volume, okay? Okay, so because we're having problems with the volume, same situation, okay? Volume is a simple volume node useful for creating a volume fader. Let's create a small volume into here. Can you please tell me what do I need to do in order to change the volume? It's very simple, right? We connect the volume to the destination and we connect the oscillator to the volume, right?
Yes.
It's straightforward, no? This guy, oh, no, teacher, no haga de menos el trabajo. No, we are getting there, but I want to have the feeling that at the end we have something that sounds really good, okay? So now let's go and play just a little bit of volume here because this could be a problem, okay? So similar situation, we are gonna create a volume here, okay? And then we are gonna connect the membrane synth. What do we need to do to this one? Dot connect, right? Oh, no, that's not true. Yeah, the membrane synth. Give me just 1 second. Oh, okay. Okay, we have this. So what do we need to do with the membrane synth? We have it here, right? The volume to the destination and this one to the, oh, but the problem with this particular one is that we are just starting the oscillator, right? Which I think is pretty similar, isn't it? We just need to change that one, that volume to that. So the volume and then the membrane synth dot connect to volume, right?
Right.
Now, oh, but I have a problem here, right? And then the synth trigger attack release. Is this working? Yes, it's working. And probably we want to do the same. I'm changing the volume. You have to refresh each time that I'm changing the volume And then I'm also changing this one. Oh, actually, I was not changing the others one. Okay, it's upset.
Teacher, can you change the note that you as a master can play?
Yes, maybe. I mean, yes, we can keep it again also like this, random note. And then instead of, let's see, my note, I want my note to be longer. So what do we need to do? Well, I just need to go to my directions of units here, right? To check the subdivisions, okay? Actually, the subdivisions, let's read a little bit about the subdivisions, okay? Let's read a little bit about the unit generators. That means that the subdivisions, okay, units, okay? Well, no, I don't want to go into here. These are frequencies and these are subdivisions. But let's check a little bit about the place where we have the durations. If you remember that we were doing trigger, attack, release, for example, or any oscillator. Let's see, where was it? Oscillator. Okay, when we have the oscillator, we have the, where is it? Any of the different sounds that we can create. Okay, this one, methyl synth. Okay, and this methyl synth, we have here the seconds. Okay, we can use seconds or we can use units. So if we use, oh, I hear something. If we use seconds, okay, let's type here 5 seconds.
Teacher, I think you need to start comment your code.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna, yeah, thank you very much for reminding this. Are you doing these changes in your own code, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're doing this in your own code, first of all, let's do a couple of things.
Teacher,
Yes.
this will be like the basics for an online game.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that good? Bad? I'm scared. Yes.
No, it's great.
Okay. Okay, so let's do a couple of things here. First of all, in the README, I will say, okay, thanks for being here awake. Okay, awake. Okay, so in public, okay, tone.js is the library, right? Tone.js done map is what? I'm going to start to write what you are telling me. It's a dependency of for tone.js. P5.js is the graphical library, right? We know about that one because we have it here, right? Right? And then script.js is our meat. Meat? Did you write meat like that? Yes, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's the important part of the code. Okay. The style is just for graphical definitions. No? Okay. And views, that's in public, no? In views, main index, just read libraries. Libraries, right? Server.js is the server side of the code. Just working as a conductor, as a musical conductor. Okay, I get information from one user, I send it to everybody. I get information from another user, I send it to everybody. Okay, and then could you tell me, could you remind from here, these sections that here, server, just reading libraries. Okay, this is already saying what is going to happen, and this part that is here, important section for the connections. Okay, each time, and here, okay, this part that we have it here is each time that somebody connects, so what happened? Server
Say that
sell to everybody, right? What about this one? Retransmitted to everybody. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and then this one is the same one. Each time somebody leave, how do you say leave, comma, server tells everybody. Yes, does that make sense?
Yes.
Start the server. Okay, and now let's go to our important part here. Just loading the object for the net connections. Let's call it like that. Okay, and this section for what? Okay, this is when we get info from server. Okay, all this part that is here. Okay, from here to here, what's mean new player. This is the same, no? Each time somebody, we're not doing anything at the moment when somebody enters the party. Can I leave it like that? I mean, you understand the metaphor, right?
Yes.
Each time we get events from other person, other persons, right? Understanding that this is centralized. We have a server, we have a bunch of bodies connected, and we are not talking between us. We are sending to the server sending to this one, to this one, to this one. These guys send to the server sent to this one, and to this one. Yes, well, sorry for my drawing. Okay. Okay, and this is each time somebody somebody leaves the party. Okay, yes, does that make sense?
I think yes, teacher.
Okay, and then this is preload. We are not using the right. Important to start audio library. Okay, I think each time this is self-explicative, right? Each time that we press the mouse, each time mouse is pressed, right? Draw the, right? This is draw circle, and these are, I think, self-connected. These three are for sound. No, next three, these next three lines, next lines for sound. Okay, this is important. This is the function that sends info to that sends events to the server, right? Yes, I think so. I think that makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding me that.
It's my pleasure.
No, thank you. Okay, now. Okay, what's next? Well, this is kind of nice, but this is still not amazing, right? What about if we keep just a small pentatonic sound playing in the background, just gradually, little by little, playing pentatonic sounds, just for fun, okay? So in addition, when we start the setup, okay, we are gonna be careful with this. We are gonna start the transport bar. This was called this starts a sequencer, okay? This is starting a sequencer, okay? And now let's go and check how can we make a loop. So if we go, let me close this one, let me close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one, and we are all set. Now let's go to the core classes of the Tone.js and let's search for the places where we can create, okay, a pattern, okay? For example, this one. This pattern arpeggiates between the given notes in a number of patterns, okay? This one can alternate in up and down, or different patterns, okay? We have patterns for one side. We also have, where were we? We have patterns. I don't see them. Oh, we have parts, okay? These are sections that can be part. It's a collection tone event which can be start, stop, and loop as a single unit. We will see this also. And we have a loop that is just saying loop creates a loop callback at the specified interval. This is just a loop. What about if we use a part or a sequencer? Let's use a sequencer, right? So I'm gonna just steal this section that is here and I'm gonna put it in the setup, okay? In my setup, in addition to started, maybe it's nicer if I keep the audio section in one part and the graphic section in another part. So in this case, I'm gonna say, oh, what's going on here? I'm gonna start tone. I started, and then I have a pattern that will be a new pattern that will be playing this. The order of the notes pass depends on the pattern. Oh, this is not good. This is not complete because this is just a pattern, okay? In addition to that, we need to play it. We need to play the sounds of the pattern. So where are the different patterns? Let me see here. Okay, so we have the tone, pattern, time, and note. But this is not sounding at all. This is just doing these particular notes all the time. So we actually need to play it with a specific synth. How can we do that? Oh, because this is a pattern of events. So we can go back here and we can, I already had this. Oh, time and note. This is the time and this is the note. And then we also need a synth. Okay, let's create another volume and another connection here. Okay, I'm just gonna create a volume. I'm gonna create a synth. I'm gonna connect my volume to the synth, and then I'm gonna trigger this particular synth. I'm gonna trigger this particular synth, but with this note, okay, with this note and this time, okay? and then we should start this pattern. Why am I not hearing anything in the examples? Do you have this page open? Could you tell me if you are hearing something here?
No, I can hear anything. I can.
Yeah, me neither.
I think we need to define time.
We need to define time. No, because time should come, so when you call this part, it should come from here. Should be declared, already declared. No, give me just 1 second, and let's do this. I'm gonna type here console, okay, console.log, and then we'll say time and node. Then I'm gonna open my console here. Oh, all the people that is connected. Oh, would we have errors in the ellipse? We have errors in the ellipse. By the way, we have errors in the ellipse. Post X and post Y. Let me copy this one to here. I'm gonna copy the patterns that are coming from this section that is here. I'm gonna steal it and I'm gonna put it here. Oh, and this is gonna be called volume 2, volume 2, synth 2, and then volume 2, synth 2. Okay. Oh, I think the problem is that pattern dot starting 0. Okay, that's it. We were forgetting to start the pattern. Okay.
Okay.
Can you start it? But now be careful because this is starting each time that I press the mouse, which is gonna be a crazy mess. So let me go back to the beginning. Okay. Okay, that's it. So, are you starting your code? Yes. Now, as you can see, we're having a couple of errors here. We're having actually many small details to be fixed here. First of all, I'm gonna decrease this a little bit more, let's say to the 18 dBs. And instead of having these notes, I'm gonna do the ones that I already have here, which is C, D, E. G and A. C2, D2, E2, G2, and A2. Too low. If you check this, it's way too low. D3, G3, G. Okay, that's it. Okay, so what I want you guys to see from here, are you here?
Yes.
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 Okay, so as you can see, we have sections that are being created by us each time that we press the click. I don't see you clicking, but I think you are there, right? I mean, you are not clicking just because you are not. I don't hear you. Are you? Okay, yes. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that means that it's working. That's okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, all set. Okay, now, as you can see here, we have a section where we can create a pattern. Okay, we have a section where we can do sounds when we click, and we have actions that could happen when somebody else is doing something with the library that we have here. You can also see, okay, from the library that we have here, that you can have different kind of sounds, okay? You can have a metal sound, a membrane sound, an AM sound, a noise, a plug, a polysynth, and so on. You can also connect sounds to different effects. For example, you can apply a distortion, you can apply a chorus, you can apply a reverberation to different sounds. Actually, reverberation is pretty nice because, and reverb is also pretty nice because they help us to have a little bit more freshy sound, or a sound that is more, that can covers the ambient a little bit more, right? You have different kind of connection spanning and things that you can do. And you can also have the loop, the pattern, the sequence, and the unit, okay? Let's add, for example, a reverberation to all the effects, okay? So let's go to the reverb and study how can we make a reverb, okay? If you check that, we can create a reverb. Reverb is based on reverb. Read more about sound on sound. Reverb is now implemented with an audio workload node, which may result in performance degradation on some platforms. Consider using reverb. Okay, let's try to use reverb, because this one, it's a little bit nicer because it's using simple convolution. Okay, this is a little bit nice. Then a little bit, okay, I think it's straightforward, reverberation. And the input. So number of outputs. Yeah, I think we can use reverb. Okay, is this, can you implement it in your code? It's 9:20. Do you want to make a 10 minutes break?
Yes.
That will be nice.
Okay, Let's make a 10 minutes break. But before we do that, I just want to, in these 10 minutes, to are you understanding everything that is happening in this code? Guys?
I understand when you explain it, but maybe if I try it alone in my home, like in homework, I would be like crying.
Okay.
Aim.
As you can see, it's not too long, to be honest. We have way more longer codes. The code of the server is really tiny. The code of our sound is also extremely short in that sense. So I have the feeling that it could be very easy to understand when you start to see the video again, maybe, or when you start to study the code. But what I want you to do, guys, in your own version, when you come back, is trying to implement the reverberation. So we're going to have a 10 minutes break. Then we come back, and I want to be sure that you are copying this file, because the one that you copy, the one that you remix, probably is not this one, but or you can go to this one and copy and paste what you need into your own code. But I want to have your version working. So see you here in 8 minutes. So 9:30. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, 9:30. I'm gonna pause the recording. Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, we are back. I want to know that you have this code working on your own side. Is anybody here without this code working on your copy? Because maybe you didn't follow the class and then you didn't copy what we were doing or so on. But as far as I would imagine, you already did the remix code and you have at least the previous version, right? The previous, the beginning of this code when we start the class. So in the worst case scenario, you just need to go and copy all of this code and replace your script.js with this material. And you also need to go, actually, just for that, because that's the only code that we are changing. We didn't change anything on the server. As far as I can remember, we didn't change anything on the server JS, and we didn't change anything on the index. That means that the only thing that you need to update in the worst case is the script.js by select Control-O and paste that. Select the one in my code and paste it on yours. Yes. So now in the first 10 minutes, could you please add the reverberation? Doesn't matter, please be careful. Do the free reverberation, okay? Please include a general reverberation to all the code, or at least please try. It's not a lot of code. In the coming 7 minutes, please try to include a general reverberation to all the code that you have, which means that you have the same reverberation here and the same reverberation on the other users and the same reverberation on the pattern. Could you please do that? Come on, Charlie. Come on, Charlie.
Yes, teacher.
Teacher, could you send that page where you find the code of the river?
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Please.
It's here. Oh. No. Okay. Yes. I'm sending that.
Thank you.
4 minutes to go. Please raise your hand when you are done. Remember that it is just one reverberation and everything should be connected to that reverberation. Three minutes. Okay, we have to keep going. Okay, we have just 3 hands. Never mind, never mind. Okay, please pay attention. We are almost done with today's class. I know I know that this schedule is kind of tough. I know that it's a tiring class, but believe me that very nice things can be done with all the technologies that you are learning. For sure. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to assume that you have this code already done. I'm assuming that you go here to the web page. I'm assuming that you go to the place where we have the free verb. And this is important because it's the way that you learn to read the dictionary. Okay. of course, I cannot teach all the technological part, but I'm expecting that with examples that we do together, you can learn how to read all these sometimes clunky documentation. Okay, but this is very simple. It says that free verb isn't a free verb. This is a technical description about what a free verb is doing. You can read a little more. The people that has never been on the Sound on Sound, it's a very nice webpage, by the way, Sound of Sounds. It's a very nice documentation explaining a lot of technical side of the audio. And then, well, it's saying that you need to create a free verb to destination. You can select the damping, which is the amount of reverberation that you will have. And then that you need to connect all the sounds to the reverberation. That means that in our code, another important thing, because the reverberation will be an object that is a reference in different parts of the code, that means that we need to say that it's going to be a global variable, right? So I'm going to create here a constant. Oh, it's not going to be a constant. It's going to be a variable, right? Rever. Okay. I cannot initialize the rever until I do have the tone initialized, which means that I need to wait a little bit. And then once that I start here, I initialize the rever. I'm just copying and pasting the example that was on the web. And that say that rever, it's going to be equal to a new tone, free verb, and I'm going to connect the free verb to the speakers. Okay. Then I'm going to set the rever. I'm going to set a certain amount of damping. Okay. And then the only thing that I need to do is that the volume, okay. Oh, by the way, it seems that I can change the volume, okay. I'm gonna do a small change. I hope that you're still awake and you're checking this. While we were on a break, there is a shortcut for changing the volume. So we can do something like synth dot, and then let me go to the examples here, to any of our examples here. Oh, my cats are fighting. I can go to the membrane synth, and you can change the volume here. So that means that you can set volume dot value equal something, synth dot volume dot value, okay, value equals -18. And in that way, I can avoid, okay, I can avoid the use of the volume here, okay? Another way just for changing the volume, okay? But in now, the synth, okay, the synth, instead of connecting that to destination, we are gonna connect this one to rever, okay? I'm just connecting the synth to the rever, and that should happen in all my different 3 sections where I was setting up a synth, and this one too in the section of my of my section of, give me 1 second. Yes, this is fine. This is my tone connect to my rever, okay, and this one also tone connect to my rever, but this one it was 16ths, right? I think that's it all set. I think we are all set on this one. Instead of this one, is gonna be 8s, okay. Yes, that's it. Can we give it a shot? Yes, and now we have a reverberation already working. Yes. Now, oh, do you want to change the parameters of the membrane sound, for example, or any of the sounds? Let's go to the example of the membrane sound. We still have just one little detail, and then I will go to the membrane sound. And then if you go to the membrane sound, where is it? Membrane sound. Okay. Let's check the different parameters that you can change. Okay. It seems that there are some things that we can change. For example, in the membrane sound, for example, we can change the number of octaves, the pitch envelope ramps. We can change, for example, the volume we already know, but we can change we can membrane seems we can detune it a little bit. We can detune it, or we can change a little bit the envelope. See, or the pitch decay, for example. You can play with those parameters. I don't know. For now, I'm not going to start the pattern. I'm not very happy with it, with how the okay, that's it. Okay, that's good. Now, what's next? Do you have any kind of question? You saw how I implement the reverberation. I set up a variable, and then I set up the free verb connect to the destination. Actually, maybe this was too much. Okay, and then all my sounds are connected now to reverberation, which means that we have one reverberation, and we have a bunch of the reverberation is connected to my speakers. Okay, and then each synth that is generated is now connected to my reverberation, and my reverberation to my speakers. Okay, and internally these ones are connected to a volume. So in reality, we have a synth connected to a volume, connected to one reverberation, connected to the speakers, and then we have another synth connected to its internal volume, connected to the same reverberation. All of them are in the reverberation. Okay. Any question so far? No, guys, Mafer? No,
How many cats do you have, teacher?
Pardon me?
How many cats do you have?
How many tags?
Cats, like Michis.
Oh, 2. I will show them to you, but it's working, okay? Oh, one little detail before the class is over. If we do this, there is a small chance that when we play, it's maybe we want to have something more in sync, every sound in sync. So if we call the function sync, then if we press the button, okay, then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna press each time that we have the sync, we're gonna say, I'm gonna synchronize my synth to the timeline. So when I press the button, it's gonna wait the sound until the next 8th in order to be played. That will change the effect of the sound, okay? Because then the sounds will be in sync, okay? In this case and in this case, remember that you have to refresh. Oh, whoa, what happened here? Yeah. Oh, because it's not, it's sync, and then it's sync, okay? I'm gonna refresh. And then all the sounds are gonna be synchronized, okay? I'm not concerned right now about the graphics at all. I'm not concerned about the graphics at all. Okay.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
In the part of the trigger attack release, why the 8N? Oh, what does that mean?
Oh, 8N is a way for saying the rhythm. It's 18ths of 16ths of a note. No, blancas, negras, 16avos, octavos.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, and then just one tiny thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this to 51, 51, 51, and this will be 100 just for fun, because in that way, can you run it again? Oh, this is maybe too much. I'm gonna say it maybe 50. Actually, maybe 250. No, 200. Let's keep a big alpha here. Okay, and refresh. I'm gonna make them to disappear. Okay. Can you see that now the clicks are disappearing? We are keep them, but they are going away little by little. Actually, let's keep this to be 10. Okay. Okay, we are getting there. Your assignment for next class. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you want to test how can you test if you are alone your code? Just duplicate a new web page. Just create a new web page, okay? And then you have 2 web pages, and then you can test that what you are sending is being received in the other person, and the other person is also sending information between this one and this one. Okay, that is important to check it. So next assignment individually to modify this in such a way that they start to sound as you please, but a little bit nicer. That means that you will need to go to the tones library. Okay, you will need to go to the tones library. You will need to study. Well, you can go to the examples because some of them are pretty nice. And actually, you can go also to the demos to see what kind of fancy things you can do with this. I think we went to that one. For example, I don't know, some of them are working, some of them are old, and then they are not working. For example, this one is nice. Okay, this is making some relation about. But I just want to see you that we are very close to do this kind of sound experiences, right? Okay, this is it's just the same, okay, just with a little bit more of time, but we can come into something. You can have a slider, okay? Yes, really close, believe me. You can have echoes, flutes. Oh, this is nice with an echo. You're changing the reverberation. You can change the scale. They're just playing scales, fancy, okay? I want you to see this, okay? Okay, bye-bye. Okay, these are the examples in order to get inspiration. This is the documentation, okay? When you go to the API here, you will see the different materials that you can use, okay? And I want to use this as a starting point, okay? And I want to say, okay, no, I want to do something more rhythmic. And then I want to put a sound and I want to do some patterns, a rhythmical pattern here. And each time that I press the button, I'm going to start to play a chromatic scale. Very simple now because the scales can be generated with patterns. And each time that somebody plays, I'm going to hear a chord and you can do something musical. Do you want to have it in sync? Or you don't want to have it in sync, okay? And that's it. So it's straightforward as far as I can see. Okay. If you have any question, you should let me know. For this week, we're going to work individually. Okay. Remember that you can do also fancy things. For example, you don't need necessarily to change the ellipse. Remember that you can do something here related, for example, with the tone, right? Maybe the random note generates, maybe it depends of the note, the color that you play. Okay. So if it depends of the note, or it depends of where am I playing the click, or when am I playing the click. Remember that you don't have ellipse only, you can have another kind of diagrams. You can make a piano. Okay, imagination is the limit. Okay, but important thing, don't forget that here is the stuff that happens when somebody get a message. Okay, and here in the mouse click is when you do something with a mouse. Okay, you can also do fancy things like drag. Instead of mouse click, mouse drag it, and then you draw a line and the line do something. That could be a little more tricky, but did you feel that if you say, okay, no, this is a repetition, I already know all of this, you can make this way more sophisticated and complex. So I hope that today class, I was trying to implement what you asked me, that was starting with a code that was already done and try to explain the code. I start to document, thanks for you. The class is recorded. Please ask me more things. I still have the feeling that you could ask a little bit more, okay? But it was good, I think. And well, we lost 1/4 of the class in the descriptions about the director and things like that. Any other comment or question?
Teacher, is this our evaluation of the second partial?
Oh yeah, we have to say that because but they move it for the May 14th. So what time are we? We are today May 14.
Today is April 29th.
April, I think they changed it. Just give me 1 second, please, because they just sent today a message saying cambio de fecha límite segundo registro. Les escribo para informarles que en concordancia con la pausa del bienestar, la fecha límite para reportar calificaciones del segundo registro se modifica al viernes 14 de mayo. Reportar notas el 12 de mayo. Okay, so so let me see the calendar. Give me 1 second, please. Yes, let's play that. That sounds good. I was not expecting that, but yes, let's do that. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it because it could be fun. I mean, it could be very, very attractive because I want you to engage with this project because I think that it could be very attractive. These things work either in a phone, in a global phone. So you can make a game, not a game as per se. If you want to make a game, that's fine. But a sound experience that can be happen when the people is doing things. And that could be very attractive for many people. It could open a way of thinking sound that could engage the communities to do things. So yes, let's keep this for the assignment of the second partial. Okay.
If this is the assignment for the second partial, do we have to still deliver next week?
Yes. Please do that. Okay. You have 1 week. If you have questions, please let me know. And that's it. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Any other question, comments, ideas, suggestions?
No, this class it works better than other class, I think.
Okay, it works. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting into music. We are just in the technology for now, but sooner or later we are gonna reach the music. which is what we are doing all of this about, right? We are working because we want sounds, and we still have to reach that moment where we're starting to say, okay, these sounds are really good. Okay, we will reach it. Thank you for turning on your cameras. Thank you for being in the class, and let me know if you have any other question, comments, and things like that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, teacher.
Thank you,
Good.
Yes,
teacher. See you
teacher,
next
thank
class.
you.
Good night, and see you next week.
Thank you,
Thank you,
teacher.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
You too.
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Fernanda. Bye, David.